So Asus is set to launch its very first handheld gaming machine, the ROG Ally, taking on the likes of the Steam Deck, the Ayaneo 2, the OneXPlayer 2 and lots of other recent rivals. But Asus has basically said that that lot can get in the bin because apparently the ROG Ally will be the most powerful gaming handheld device around. But I mean, of course they're going to say that, they're not just going to say it's alright, are they? Anyway, the official launch is set for May the 11th, but here's a full run through of all of the specs and the features on how the ROG Ally might fare against the competition. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, the design of the ROG Ally seems to be rather refined if not quite revolutionary. That curved contoured frame should be comfortable to clutch, and you've got textured slip resistant grips as well for when things get a bit sweaty. It should be a wee bit more compact than the Steam Deck, although that's not exactly tricky as this thing is roughly the same size as my car. And at 608 grams it's a wee bit lighter than the Steam Deck as well, so not quite as punishing on the old biceps. It looks rather dashing, but the ROG Ally does only come in white, so I am a bit worried it'll get scuffed up when you're banging it about the place. Luckily, Asus has chucked on a Gorilla Glass Victus screen, so hopefully that should prove shatter resistant, although some of the smartphones that I've reviewed with Victus displays have scratched up rather easily, so I would definitely recommend chucking on a screen protector. And the controllers are stuck permanently onto the device as well. They can't be detached, unlike on the OneXPlayer 2 for instance, or the Nintendo Switch OLED. You've got an Xbox style controller layout, so it should be perfectly intuitive and comfortable for long gaming sessions. You've even got two macro pedals around back that are fully customizable. And you've also got yourself a fingerprint sensor built into the power button, so no buggering about with pins or passwords or any of that guff. Now, just like the Ayaneo handhelds, the OneXPlayer 2, etc., you've got full Windows 11 running on the ROG Ally. So it'll be a very different user experience to the Steam Deck. Steam Deck, fantastic for downloading and playing Steam games, but for any other gaming services, it's frankly a ball ache. Whereas here on the Asus ROG Ally, you'll have the Armoury Crate SE, which brings together games from multiple platforms, including Steam, Game Pass, even Epic Games if you're a masochist. And once you've downloaded all the games you want, the ROG Ally will automatically scan your SSD and then add all of these games into the Armoury Crate, so you can just load them up there from the one screen without buggering about loading up half a dozen different apps. And like the Steam Deck, the Armoury Crate will offer simple mapping of those keyboard and mouse commands for each game to the ROG Ally's buttons, so you can set it up however you like. And the Ally will also serve up a toolbar similar to the Game Genie found on those ROG phones, which you can yank out mid-game to change the performance modes, the resolution, the refresh rates, as well as customize the sensitivity of the thumbsticks and the triggers, tweak the haptics, do whatever you really well want without even leaving the game. As for that screen tech, well, you've got yourself a 7-inch IPS panel similar to the Steam Deck and the Ayaneo 2. And just like the Ayaneo 2, the ROG Ally will spaff out 1080p Full HD visuals. So that means it does have a sharper screen than the Steam Deck, which of course has a 1280 by 800 regular HD resolution. And one area where the ROG Ally rules over all of its rivals is the fact that you've got a 120Hz refresh rate here. That's a big jump over all of the massive rivals I've personally tested. The Steam Deck, the Ayaneo 2, the OneXPlayer 2, etc. They all max out at 60Hz. And the ROG Ally will come with AMD FreeSync support, of course, so the refresh can dynamically scale without screen tearing and other visual buggery. Of course, the big question is, will the ROG Ally be capable of running the latest games at Full HD resolution and also maintaining a frame rate over 60 FPS? I mean, I'd be pretty bloody impressed if it can. I reckon you'll probably have to scale the resolution down to about 720p to get that kind of fluid frame rate. But hey, stay tuned for the review and we'll see what's going on there. The ROG Ally's panel will also max out at 500 nits of brightness, so you might actually be able to play games outdoors, unlike many handheld gaming machines which top off at around 350-400 nits. And visibility should hopefully be boosted by the very posh sounding Corning DXC curtain, which apparently increases the transmittance to almost 100% while also reducing those pesky reflections. And apparently you will be able to hook up your ROG Ally to a telly box to stream your gaming session to a big screen, but it sounds like you'll probably need Asus's charging dock in order to do so, because that adds in an HDMI port. And as you would expect from an Asus gaming device, you've got dual front-facing speakers here with full high-res audio and Dolby Atmos support. Now, of course, the bit that I'm really interested in is the performance of the ROG Ally, and apparently this gaming handheld will come in 2 tasty flavors. Apparently the base model will be powered by a custom-made 4nm AMD Ryzen Z1 processor based on that Zen 4 architecture, and this will come packing 6-core 12-thread performance. Or alternatively, for a bit more cash, you can upgrade to the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme with 8 Zen 4 cores and 16 threads. Both versions offer Radeon 780M graphics, although the Extreme Edition apparently comes with 3 times the compute units, so that seems to be the one to go for if you want to be running your AAA titles. Or certainly if you want to give them a chance of running at that Full HD resolution at more than 60Hz with respectable graphics settings. But either way, it certainly looks like the ROG Ally will be stiff competition for the Ayaneo 2, the OneXPlayer 2, and the other most powerful handhelds out there right now. As for the cooling system, well, apparently the ROG Ally packs dual internal fans that are, according to Asus at least, surprisingly quiet, peaking at around 20 decibels. And this cooling system is also bolstered with some anti-gravity heat pipes, apparently, which I won't even begin to pretend to understand. So hopefully should stay nice and cool even if you're gaming for an hour, 2 hours, the whole ruddy afternoon. As for those final bits of specs, well, the ROG Ally's storage consists of 512 gigs of PCIe 4.0 SSD action, but apparently it'll also support UHS 2 micro SD memory cards as well, so it should be nice and nippy. Good news if you want to actually run games off the bugger. And you'll also have yourself some Wi-Fi 6E support for getting online, so it should be perfect for online gaming as long as your home network can cope with it. And that right there in a lovely wee nutshell is what we know about Asus's upcoming ROG Ally handheld gamer. As I say, launching May the 11th. I'm hoping to do your full unboxing and review, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, it'd be great to hear your thoughts down below. Do you reckon the ROG Ally will be the best, the most powerful handheld gamer out there? Or are you going to trade your Steam Deck in for one? It'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do poke, subscribe, and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. And have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers, everyone. Love you.